Yeah, so one of the biggest things an artist has to do is raise money in their career. All right, whether that be crowdfunding, whether that be working a job and getting side money, or I mean, you could get a product and sell it for a high margin. There's tons of options for us artists to raise money.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you about something that's a little bit more unorthodox, and that's finding sponsors. Should artists try to find sponsors, and if so, how should we go about that? What are your thoughts on that?
Looking for sponsors. That one's tricky because sponsors are going to want obviously a return on their sponsorship. They're not just nobody's gonna give you money. It just doesn't happen. But in terms of like how would I find one, and what's the best way to go about finding a sponsor? We talk about the difference between sponsors and affiliates. So just to run back over that, a sponsor is going to be somebody who works with you more directly. Like they'll say, "Here's $500 a month or $1,000 a month in order to like work us into your content." Like,
Okay.
maybe you wear some of our merch, maybe you write us in some of these articles or whatever, but it's more of a direct relationship.
Okay.
An affiliate is a bunch of people can be affiliates, and you don't really have to have as much of a one-on-one relationship with the company. So there's people who, like, we have an affiliate program, and we give a certain percentage of whatever sales somebody refers to us, but we don't have direct emails with the people and like stuff like that. No, obviously we have like general conversations with the affiliates, and we'll have terms and conditions and all that, but it's not like it's a one-on-one relationship as much.
Yeah.
So how would I go about finding that direct sponsor? I'd say you have to have some sort of credibility in the beginning. So you have to look at who's aligned with your brand.
That makes sense.
First of all.
Yeah. And alignment with the brand, that's huge.
Because if you're, trying to get some company that has nothing to do with you, you're just wasting your time and their time.
Okay.
So make sure your brand is aligned with the sponsor. And you should know how to drive traffic to yourself before you're looking for to shoot the traffic off to somebody.
Yes.
So
100%.
for us, for example, like before we ever had any sponsors, it was us knowing how to get traffic to our website.
Okay.
And usually the sponsor will reach out to you at that point. Like you won't have to go looking for them. So the best way to go about getting a sponsor, I know a lot of people don't like to hear this, is that you need to learn how to get the traffic to you first. Like work on your infrastructure, and then the sponsors are going to build off of that. So once you have a system where you're getting some sales and your business is moving, then people are gonna just naturally want to help you out. It's kind of like if you have two companies who have a public offering, so they want to sell off some of their ownership of the company, their stock. Now, one company has very little sales. Like you don't have to have a bunch of sales to do a public offering. You don't you can have little and still offer publicly. It's just you're gonna have a harder time convincing people to invest in your business.
Yeah.
Now, if you have a track record of sales, like you have, $1 billion worth of sales, and then you ask people, hey, we're going to open this up so that we can grow even faster.
Okay.
Then you have a much higher chance of having a good initial public offering.
Okay.
But if you don't have any sales, I mean, you're going in cold.
Yeah.
You have no sales. If you look on Shark Tank or whatever, those aren't public offerings. They're not to us, to the public, but so to private investors. And one of the questions they ask is, what's your sales? So, and those people are looking for a sponsor, right?
Yeah.
So they're looking, not exactly a sponsor, but they're looking for somebody to give some equity to. In this case, I wouldn't advise artists to give equity out. I mean, it had to be the greatest sponsor alive for them to take a percent equity or something like that. I know a lot of influencers, to get on this topic too, a lot of influencers now, if they're big enough, they might be trying to take equity into some of the people that want to sponsor them, because if you can drive that much traffic, it's just a matter of how much value you bring.
Right.
If it makes sense for a startup company to give 1% or 10% or something to this huge influencer who does align with their brand, sometimes it can make sense. But most of the time, I wouldn't. But yeah, that's what I have to say about sponsors, man. It's you build your stuff first,
Okay.
and then you're gonna find that people just start to hit you up. Or the other thing you could do is get good at the affiliate stuff. So whenever you sign up for affiliate programs and then you're driving sales to the companies, like let's say you're doing our affiliate program, for example, and you're driving like a bunch of sales to us and you're driving so much value, like it's so far and above everybody else's affiliate income that you're like, you know what, maybe I'm worth a little bit more because you see how much like my traffic is converting for you guys.
Right.
Just give me a little bit more percentage.
Yeah.
And then that's a little bit more of a one-on-one relationship.
That makes sense. So that's a conversation you as an artist would probably want to initiate, right?
Yeah, nobody's just going to volunteer to give you extra percentage. But yeah, I mean, I think we've done that sometimes. There's a couple programs that we've done that we started as an affiliate and it became more of like a sponsored direct deal because we were driving enough traffic that they're like, okay, I'll give you a special percentage or a special deal to include some more of your content. And so we usually always have, I think everywhere we have an affiliate, we have a disclosure. Like, hey, this is an affiliate company. You do have to do that, by the way. So if somebody's like a sponsor, if it's not like a natural ad, like if you have an advertisement in a podcast, people know it's an advertisement.
Yeah,
so you don't
100%.
You don't always have to say, like, here's a message from our sponsors.
Yeah.
If it sounds like an ad. So like on TV, if you're watching, if you go back to TV days, if you don't just have Hulu at your house or something, like you could tell when it was an ad.
Yeah.
But these days, if you're on like a blog article or something, it might just look like, oh, they're just talking about a product. But you usually have to have disclosures to say you're talking about that. So if it's not, like if you have a music video or something, and you're sponsored by a brand, then if it's, I'd look into that, just look into like the law surrounding that. But sometimes you have to disclose if it's like an affiliate relationship or sponsorship. And then if it's just like, if it looks like it's supposed to be an ad anyway, then usually like it should be okay.
I got you. That makes sense. Good stuff.